So, what is that quest we had to do was, restore Oppa's stamina. So we need to use a stamina potion. We have this. A lot of our people needs it. I hate to waste on it, but I need to reduce our stamina now and get that extra food if necessary. And we'll use the hymn book. Molly is at full, so she gets no more composure. We know that Cora's got a 4 composure. Let's give Lulu her that. She's got 3. Okay, she's 3 off by default. I'm going to use a morale system to increase the morale of everyone involved. There we go. That helps out Opal. I'm surprised Typhoid is not cleared up yet. A small ways from the trail, the party spies a long abandoned wagon. It may be salvageable for some parts or contain valuables. Who should search the wagon? Well, Molly's already sick. Cora, go out there and see what we can. Someone's sleeping. Oh, hygiene went down on that one. Well, past before she returned, she looks surprisingly well rested. What? Oh, well, Cora Willie returns with the wagon wheel. The party has suspicions of why it took her so long to retrieve. Oh, that stinks. All of our morale just went down. Well, we get a wagon wheel out of it, but that's what happens with the Willie nature, that she basically tries to lie and everything. So we just lost. Now I gotta deal with this wagon wheel. Now, if you are out of inventory space for any reason, you can right-click on any inventory item and rotate it. So bear that in mind. So we're gonna have that. We got a wagon wheel. So that helps us with some repairs, at least. It's not all bad, but we lost a lot of morale for that. Molly has recovered from typhoid! Yay! Woo! Everyone's all healed. There are certain illnesses in this game, folks, that will basically reduce the overall slots here of the party members around. So basically, you might be stuck with someone who's still with only like maybe 3 stamina and maybe 3 morale, which will be really harmful in your resources. The party spies a thick of shrubs, each covered with small red berries. If gathered, they may have medical properties that may prove useful. Let's see. Opal can do this. She's got the more wayward. She's the trapper after all, and it succeeds. 2 herbal enemies. Opal harvests a moderate number of berries. Though she crushes a few in the process, she carries a handful back to the wagon. Herbal remedies are basically a weaker medicine, which is kind of like it's just a way to get medicine on the trail if you mess up. Opal trips, falling face first onto the ground, crushing some of the berries she's made. We lost 1 remedy and she loses morale. Well, we have 1. That's all that matters. So let's go see what's going on with... See, that was one of our quests. We had to pick up 3 springs of things. If I go down here, we can go for fishing, and then we have a morale boosting spot right here, and a mystery spot if we so choose. But we have a dragoon to take care of. Dragoon sighting. Let's head for that one. Which means we're never going to get this one. We failed this one. Unless we get to a spot on the trail that has a question mark, we might have a chance to get more herbal remedies, but you know that's a complete random chance. Oh, the wagon lurches to a stop as the oxen rear back in fear. A loud crack rings from the wagon. It appears to twist its stick. It lies on the trail, shaping eerily like a snake. The oxen refuses to step near it. Curse that brute! Cora, you know how to fix stuff. Let's see if you can fix stuff again. The animation is actually stunning. Yay! Oh, it failed. Despite the work on it. Despite Cora's hard work, she fails to improve the condition of the wagon. That witting up is really hitting us badly with her. All right, well, we need to I'll use the bag itself to repair our wagon. I also use up all of our wheels too for doing. Why did I click on that to use up there? Well, repair that. Use up our tongue and our wheel for that, but that's besides the point now. Well, our morale's going back up at least. That's fine. I'll tell you, it gets harder from here on out. Like, if you're doing like, if it's like wagon leader, all these events are harder to begin. It's like, oh, it's very tedious. Stay back, citizens. There's been a murder most foul. Oh, I see. You're the group that Captain's got hunting us down, eh? Oh, I had you pegged for the minute I saw you. Detective's intuition, as it were. I could use the assistant on this case. Very well, you could help me track down the killer. I'll return to the captain as soon as I'm able. Alright, this could be a fail, because after you fail enough times, you will, not survive who the killer is. Excellent, with your help, I'll say this case solved and all. I've sent a clear list of clues and suspects of pieces of evidence. Simply tell me what you wish to inspect, or let me know when you're ready to make an accusation. Alright, what's the problem here? Everyone present is part of the wagon train heading to Oregon, with the exception of Quill, who arrived only yesterday. The others have been together for the better part of a month now. Some have known each other for longer, some less, unless now there's been no inviting. Our victim is one of Elias Farthing. He founded the expedition and was our de facto leader. He wasn't well loved, but as far as I can tell, he also didn't have any explicit enemies. For the most part, their journey seems to have been normal, except that they've been harassed by thieves a lot more than usual. Those thefts have been targeted and efficient. It's like that somebody on the inside has been helping them somehow. I've compiled a list of clues and suspects and pieces of evidence. Simply tell me what you wish to inspect, and let me know you're ready to make an accusation. What's the evidence? I assembled all the evidence. We have a crime scene. What's a crime scene? We're not policemen, but, you know, we'll do our best for this. The body of a middle-aged man lies face down in the mud, his fatal wound clearly visible in the center of his back. The body has sunk deeply into the mud, suggesting that it has been lying there for some time. Several boot prints have scattered across around the mud. Only one distinct stands out of average size. Bear know of that. The man's clothes are intact except for some stains from the rain and scattered mud. There are no injuries anywhere other than the fatal one of his back. It's unlikely that he fought against his attacker. Nothing else can be up at the crime scene can stand out. I estimate the time of death was about 8:30 last night, caused by a single clean stab wound to the back. The footprints make it for a difficult clue. Unfortunately, the only footprints that are visible are those made after the rain has started. Make sure I know of that. There's a ruined letter here. We also found a letter on Elias's body, but it was so rain damaged as to be illegible. Still, there's a bit of gleam from it. The handwriting was messy, and it certainly wasn't written by Elias's hand. You ask me, this is our motive. The killer wasn't able to retrieve it, though I can't say why. From what we can make out, it looks like they're addressed to an external party, rather than someone from the train. This is likely how our mole was communicating with the bandits. Unfortunately, the rain did them a favor. It's not much to us now. What about the murder weapon? Elias was killed with a single thrust from this knife. Of that much I'm certain. It's a standard hunting blade that can be found anywhere. With only one distinct feature. It has been customized to be a left-handed grip. That's our biggest clue. So we have something that was happened after the rain has started by 8:30 of a person that has an average shoe size and he's also left-handed. As I said, the knife is otherwise remarkable. The blade itself isn't warped at all. It's likely that Elias fought back. The position of his body also supports this. The unrestrained condition of the blade also suggests that it was used efficiently, which means our killer was almost certainly left-handed. I have assembled all the evidence I could find. Let's talk about some of these people around us. Man, this is really weird for an Oregon Trail game, I assure you. Suspect the dossiers. I've taken the liberty of composing some information on each of our subjects. Each subject will provide a winning sample so we can compare it to the note we found on the scene. I watched as each one wrote the sample so I could see which one they favor. Just let me know what you'd like to learn about. About Quill Peabody. Right here in the middle. Well, Quill Peabody is a reporter, one of the academic types. Certainly not man of kind and pick as a killer, but you never really know. He does seem a bad sort, just timid, I say. He reportedly came here to speak with the deceased. I know they conversed briefly before Elias perished, but you may know of him asking about Quill about the details. Sorry, not much to go on here, but he's a long-time member of the train, which makes him a bit of a mystery. Still don't reckon he's got much of a murder in his blood, though. Oh right, as to physical attributes, the man wore his sample is right-handed and wears large boots. So he's not an average boot size, so this guy may not be the killer. Being a reporter, we have plenty of samples of his handwriting, though not an exact match to those found on the scene. His samples were closest match of the group. So he might be expeditious too. Bear that in mind. What is this Gutney fellow over here? Well, Gutney Goldman's the sort of fellow who would buy out his enemies rather than kill them. No man richer than that, at least financially. He's not without problems, of course. Worthing is both source of his power and never a represented demon. Oh, Gutney wrote his sample right-handed and is small-footed. His writing sample was neat, but not quite as a match to the letter we found. This isn't the kind of man who gets his hands dirty, but if he had to, he'd definitely have the backstabbing sort. Hard to say how he's involved exactly. Let's see. How about our Kellogg Hardiman here? Killing Hardman isn't the kind of man you want to be watching your back, or your front, if I'm honest. He's bad news. He guarded some infirmary around here, never killed a man as far as I know, but done all sorts of bads and besides. He's our prime suspect for the thefts. He's also a long-term enemy of Marshall. The two have been at odds for years, as far as I could tell. As for physical characteristics, the man claims to be ambidextrous, and he wears average-sized boots. So average-sized shoe size could be as this guy could fit the description. And though he's quite equally skilled each hand, his height range is horrible. Not sure if he's just an ugly writer or is he faking it. So he's very mysterious, this guy is. But let's talk about Garrett Fairfield. Right here. Well, Garrett Fairfield is, the man's servant of the deceased. His butler, if you will. As far as I can tell, the man had been nothing but loyal up till now. But who knows what could have transpired between the two of them. Garrett wrote his sample with his left hand and is of average foot size, so it fits to our descriptions. We have samples of his writing from his personal belongings, and none match the letter found at the scene, of course. This is the only fellow who seemed distraught of the murder that occurred at all. That didn't absolve him, but his reaction strikes me as genuine. So he may not have some bad blood in him. Look, he's still a suspect, as everyone else is present. But have you heard of a butler being responsible for murder? And what about our last dossier? Marshall Bennerin. This guy is a little risky fellow over here. Oh, Marshall Brendan. Only a real suspect by circumstance, but we should really cover him in a fairness to the rest. Marshall wrote his sample, right-handed and has a fairly small shoe size. I must say that his handwriting was truly terrible, but as bad as Kellogg's, if not worse. Don't tell him I said that, though. Marshall's the impromptu sheriff of the wagon train. He is one that has been keeping the bandits at bay, though depending on who you ask, he's not doing the best job of it. A shady cop fellow, you should wear. Well, that's all we can tell from him. Our main suspect is probably the butler or the mountain man, so let's interview the suspects. We'll see how this is a long event for this one, for the record, folks. Let's get Quill Peabody for the record. Can I help you? What, you got an alibi? Let me think. I went to bed early, around 7 p.m. Perhaps I only arrived this morning before, so I was still tired. Certainly not in the mood to be wandering around conversing with anybody. I couldn't have fallen asleep for some time. I heard gunshots at one point, but it wasn't until after the rain started that I managed to fall asleep. What about the victim's relationship? Well, I'm a reporter. Elias and I had only probably spoken at once, yesterday morning, in fact. He told me that he had bad news to share, but he had to procure evidence first. Frankly, I was, and remain, baffled. I don't know what news he was talking about or what evidence was attempting to produce. Let's see, examine him. Peabody is quite tall, thin, well-dressed man. He seems to be bothered by the rain. His eyes are nervously darting around the gathered group, so he's nervous. We don't know much about him, Bell, but he's kind of shifty. Let's see how good he goes, man. Let's talk to him. Yeah, yes, what is it? You have an alibi? I was relaxing in my wagon. It's what I'd be doing now if you weren't accusing me. Well, at one point, I heard gunshots. I went outside to see exactly what the noise was and didn't see anything unusual. That was exactly 8 p.m. by my watch, so I went back to nurturing my favorite hobby, being alone. What's your victim relationship? I knew nothing about the Elias, whatever his name was. Is or was. We were companions of circumstance. I don't believe we ever conversed. So he might not be the person. Gurn is that thin, stern-looking man. A golden pocket watch hangs at his waist. So he might not be. He's just probably reluctant or anything. Oh, Kellogg, what do you got for us? You're next on the list. Oh, what do you want? What, you got an alibi? I was out of the camp practicing my aim. No idea what time it was, but I wrapped up and came back to the camp. On the way, I passed to where Elias died, though it was dark enough that I couldn't see anything. I didn't notice some fella scurrying off in a hurry, but I can't give you much more than that. My money's on whoever it was that being the killer. What's your victim's relationship? Elias saw the fella around some time and again, but I didn't care to know him and he didn't care to know me. He wasn't one to get involved with the shady folk, like myself, so our paths hardly ever crossed. Not much else to say. What do you want? What do you got for examine here? Kellogg is a vicious-looking man whose hands are never far from his holsters. It's evident he spends plenty of time outside of civilization, outside the law. A large fresh bruise adorns his right side of his face, though. He got punched. Oh, you're wondering about that bruise? Well, I got Marshall to thank for that one. The two of us aren't exactly friends, but hitting me was a first. Not quite always a done to deserve it. You'll have to ask him. Oh, he's kind of suspicious. He's got this gun slinging around him. We gotta talk to Marshall Burnham, the next guy in line. How could I help? Alibi? Oh, I saw Kellogg heading off with his guns already, so I decided to follow him. That must have been around 8:30. Unfortunately, the rain made it hard to follow him, so I returned to camp. By the time I made it back here, Elias was dead. You asked me, the mystery who did the deed. How can I help? What's your victim's relationship, buddy? Elias was the man who hired me to lead the caravan. He was a man of his demons, like any of us, but maintained his honor as long as I knew him. What happened to him is a darn shame. How can I help? What examining him? March was a sturdy, stout man with a confident posture, grand, tidy beard. His clothes are immaculate. The only notice of disorder is a large purple-blue bruise adorning his left hand. Did you hit Kellogg? You saw that, did you? Well, I make no mistake, excuses. I hit him, all right. You asked me, it's not even half what he deserves for killing Elias. Why do you think it was Kellogg? Not much of detective work, are you? His shoe size fits most around by Elias' body. The blade used to kill the man was fitted with a left-handed grip. Kellogg is ambidextrous. He also was unaccounted for at the time of the murder. I'll make him pay for what he's done, mark my words. Well, we can figure out that maybe he is shifty. But we gotta talk to Garrett Fairfield next. The butler. I hope you catch the killer soon. I'll do anything I can do to help. What's your alibi? Let's see. I was preparing dinner for us in the wagon when I glanced outside to see Elias was talking to somebody. That would have been about 7:30. He never came back. As soon as he started about raining, when I went out to check on him, it would have been about 9 o'clock and found him lying in the mud. I hope you catch the killer soon. I can do anything to help. I worked for the man. I was a valet, chief, attendant, so forth, so I remember matters he had at time, nor stomach to solve for himself. I hope he catch the killer soon. I'll do anything to do to help. Let's how he looks. Garrett is an enormous, imposing man. He looks less like a servant, more like a bodyguard or soldier. He's well dressed and maintains a neat composure despite the rain. Hope we catch the killer soon. Well, what can we do about this? We've talked to everyone. I know this is a long event, folks. So our only real course of action is either the reporter, the butler, or the mountain man. So you know who it is, do you? We don't leave us in suspense. I'm going to blame... I think last time I did this, I actually blamed Kellogg. So I'm going to blame Garrett for this one. Well, I suppose the evidence may fit. Garrett's shoe size was at the scene. He's left-handed. He could also use the knife easily. He means he had pushed the victim unawares. But what is his motive? Why on earth he would want to kill Elias? There's probably probably because the victim was, I guess it would be kind of basic money, I guess. I don't think that's quite right. Think hard, look over the clues and try again. We can't possibly force it. So, we'll try Kellogg then. Not surprising, because he's ambidextrous. But still he's wearing something very different from the later on found his body. Can you explain that? It was dark. He couldn't see it. Oh, come on. Don't you force this wrong. This is annoying. It's not really clear who this guy is. And you're trying to fail. It's like, well, could be worse than anything. First, he's right-handed. It could be unusual for him to use left-handed knife. Can you explain that? Because he's not right-handed. Oh, just guessing at this point. Go ahead and stay here. I'll try to figure out this catch up with the captain when I can. Well, we kind of failed it. Again, I really don't know what the answer to that is. Like, you see the point, you're like, oh, he's left-handed and this off. It's like, oh, what is annoying by that? I hate how that's like, you don't really know exactly what that is. Like, he just wants to figure out what that message is all about. But that message, that whole murder scene is just so dumb. And like, I really, up to this day, don't know what the answer to that is. I hate to look online for that typical guide to fix that out, because I really don't, oh, goodness! Is it probably Kellogg? Kellogg probably just shot her. Another typical place for the wagon. Opal cries out in pain. This is an appropriate stowed rifle. It's misfire of Opal taking the lucky shot. Oh, come on, test 3 with a missing. Molly's got one. Cora, try it. What's your health like? Failed. Dang it. And I waste a medicine by doing so. The bullet passes clean through Opal's leg. Cora finishes the victim with medicine and bandages the wound tightly. That's not good. Unfortunately, the bandages can barely stem the flow of blood. Opal will need further medication attention or perhaps a miracle. Oh no. Opal has a gunshot wound and she has to walk on that leg too. And now look at her health is basically permanently lost by 2 now because of that gunshot wound. I don't think we can actually recover that. So she's going to be permanently at 4 health for the rest of the adventure. Just from that gunshot wound. That's very unfortunate. Man, well at least we can fish. We can fish now at least. That's a good sign. Despite our failed attempts at being a bad investigator and whatnot, we can at least craft some bait here. Oh, I can't. Oh, but we can't fish though, because we do have bait. And since Cora knows the fishing better, we'll let Cora fish. Alright, so fishing! You move the D-pad, or move the WSAD keys, you hit spacebar to cast the line. Also, you need to, but it doesn't tell you that you need to have the icon above the fish you're about to cast. And when you have the fish caught in, you basically catch it with the space button as soon as it's catched like this. Like that. We caught here. Fishing is very easy if you know how to do it. You do get, there is a fishing diary in the game. If you catch all the fish, it's an achievement, as it is. 62 inches of, that was a big fish. You can only select a few fish at a given time. But, as usual, you can stay, it's like only a certain amount of fish you can collect to add to your food supply. But, after a while, the game will be like, yeah, you probably caught too much fish. If you fish anymore, it won't be added as food to your party, but it'll add to your journal if you so choose. There is no time limit to this, so you can fish here as long as you want. Come on, pick up that fish. You want to taste it? There you go. And we'll jump higher. We got, ooh, smallmouth bass, 12 inches caught. Now, there are certain fish that will basically show off in a glow. Those are trophy-oriented fish that are basically more valuable to you than anything else. But they are rare to come by after a while. Alright, we got that. A boot. We caught a boot. And that uses up a bait, too, by technicality, which is very annoying. Come on, get some fish. There are chances you can actually grab 2 fish at once, but it's very rare that occurs, though. That was not a quality fish. Alright, well, we can get up here and try to fish this. Oh, that fish left. The fish only stay up on the surface for some time, so you gotta be on your toes when it comes to that stuff. Grab that long fish. That's a long fish. I can give us some good meat. Better lake than never. Better lake than never. 60 fish collected. That's a new one for us. If you've already collected one, I think you don't get anything new out of it for log entries unless it's a longer fish by default. We'll go right here. We got ourselves a blue catfish. Ooh, 50 inches. Man, the catfish huge. Goodness. There we go. Grab that bad boy out of the way. A yellow perch caught. That was almost trophy quality. So you have collected the maximum amount of fish. I think it's like 7 to 9 fish, depending what happens. You can still catch, but you won't do anything for your team, and you'll waste bait by doing so. But you add to your journal if you so choose. So we collected 8 fish, and we got 120 pounds of fish. That's amazing. We got something is indeed fishy. All right, we lost 9 bait for that, but that's okay. We got 95 fish. Let's see. With the knife, Cora could spend some extra time cleaning the fish. We don't have a knife. Oh, I didn't buy a knife. I lost a knife. Okay, I traded that rusted one away. So if we could get a fish, if we had that knife, we could get more fish out of it. That's okay. We're already at this point. That's morale. Do I need to raise morale? Well, Molly needs it. I know I'm not going to get the one of the Springs herbal remedies collected, because I'm pretty sure this is not going to be an herbal remedy. I don't know, because it's a question mark, but I need a morale. But morale could be back in Junesburg, too. Let's travel here and see what this is. And see what we get here.